We are now going to make some adjustments to the flywheel, so I will move the camera to flywheel position. Then I will select the flywheel and I will hide unselected parts by pressing Ctrl Alt Space, like so. And then I use the D key for fit scene. I will change the diameter, so we go to IntelliShape level and we'll change the diameter to 55. And the thickness will be 10. Then we will remove some material here in the center of the flywheel, so I will use a cut cylinder and drop it here in the center, and I will change the diameter to 50 and the depth will be 3 millimeters. And eventually there will be a shaft that will go through the flywheel, so we have to add a reinforcement here in the center for the shaft. So I will use a cylinder and I will drop it here in the center. I click OK and we'll change the diameter to 14, and the thickness will be the same as the depth of this hole. So I will use the shift key to snap to this edge or this surface. Then we will taper this surface and this one. We will use draft faces command to do that. So we go over to the feature tab and we will select draft faces. And here in the properties we see that we will use a neutral plane. So we will select a neutral plane and that will be the bottom. And then we will select draft faces and that will be this one and this one. So we can select them here if we want to, but we can also come over to the properties and select all faces, and the faces that are adjacent to the neutral plane will be selected. Then we will change the draft angle. We change that to 20 and then we click OK. Now these surfaces are tapered. Next will be to add a hole here, so I will use a cut cylinder and drop it here, and I will change the diameter to 10, and I will right click this handle and choose the point. I will select the edge here like so. Then we will make a hole pattern of this hole, and we will use the pattern feature up here, but first we will place it in the right location. So I will turn on the tribal. Then I will use this 2D handle. I select it and right click, and the starting point will be the center point of the flywheel. Then I will grab this handle, drag it upward a bit, and then I will let it go and type 17, hit enter. Then I turn off the tribal. Now I will select pattern feature and come over to the properties. We will use a circular pattern, and the axis will be the center point of the flywheel. Now we have 4 holes and we see the preview. If you don't see the preview, you can click this button, the preview button. Now we will have 6 holes. I type 6 and then I press tab, and we will see a preview of 6 holes, and total angle will be 360, and it should be evenly spaced. Then we will click OK, and we have got the whole pattern. But you notice that the flywheel has jagged edges, and to make it smoother you can right click the selected part here now and go to part properties, and to rendering you can change here surface smoothness. If you drag this slider, for instance, up to 60, click OK, the flywheel will be a lot smoother. If you want to change so that all new parts that you drag into the scene will have the same smoothness, you can come up here to the options button, click here, and then you go to parts, and down here you have surface smoothness. Now the default value is 30. You can change that to 60 for instance, and then I click OK. So now when we drag a new part to the scene, it will have the smoothness of 60. So then we will round the edges on this flywheel. So I will select the flywheel And then I press the S key, and from this menu I select blend, and we will, here in the properties, I change the radius to 1. Then I select this face, the bottom, and this face, and this edge, and this surface. And then I right click and click OK. Now we have rounded these edges. But I want to round these edges too, so instead of adding a new blend, I will come over to the scene browser and I will expand the flywheel. And here we have blend. We right click the blend and go to edit feature options to add one more blend. So I will expand this box. Then I will select this face, and then I will right click here in the scene, click OK. So now we have rounded these edges too. Then we will cut a hole for the shaft here. So I will drag a cut cylinder, drop it here in the center, change the diameter to 5, and make sure that it will go through, like so. And I want to round these two edges as well, this one and on the other side. And to do that, we can come over to the scene browser. So instead of adding a new blend, we can drag this cut cylinder above the blend. I left click and hold and drag the cut cylinder and drop it here above the blend. And here I let go the left mouse button, and now the blend will affect the edges of the hole, as you see here, like so. Now we select the flywheel and part level, and we go to the properties, and we will change the name to flywheel and hit enter. Copy the name and paste it here in description, and the part number will be 108. Hit enter, and we will change the color to this color, and then we will bring back all the hidden parts. We will use shift space like so, and we will move the flywheel to the center here of the bearing holder. So we will select the flywheel, turn on the tribal, and the tribal will be placed here on this side. Then I will left click and hold the center handle, and I drag it to the center point of this bushing. But if you don't see the center point or don't find the center point, you can use an edge of the bushing. If you press and hold the shift key, you can move the cursor to the edge or this one, and it will snap to the center. So here I will let go the left mouse button and then the shift key. Then I turn off the tribal and the flywheel is in place. So then I will move the camera to top front right and fit scene, and I will save the scene, and we will continue in the next video.